chemicals into the manifold. I put it in the parts washer. I sprayed it with brake cleaner and blew it out. I didn't see nothing else in there. But if you have something like that happen, replace the manifold. If you have something go through your engine like that, replace the manifold. There was a piece that was still lodged into the manifold that I didn't see, and whenever it got hot, it come out and it went through the turbo. So we had to replace the turbo again. Made it right. But guys, you got to be careful, because I mean, if I would have known it would have done that, I would have replaced it in the beginning. We did replace it after it did that, so that it couldn't happen again. But I just want y'all to know that it can't happen like that. So when you think that you have it cleaned out, I mean, I put it in a hot pressure washer, and I mean, I couldn't visibly see it, but once I pulled the manifold off and to put the new one on, I noticed that a piece of the manifold was gone, like a little piece in it, from where that shrapnel had done hit it. But all it takes is something very fine to go through the turbo and mess up the turbo pins. So be very careful. Just replace it. It don't cost that much. It's worth that than having to get another turbo after you just bought one. Because the first turbo got destroyed from the valve. So it could happen. I take full responsibility for it, because I probably should have just replaced the manifold in the beginning, but I wasn't expecting it to have stuff still in it. So we did make it right, and luckily they were okay about it. I mean, I'm sure they were mad that they didn't get to leave in a decent time, but we still took care of it. He's back on the road. But just little things like that, guys, can cost a lot. But like I was saying, a thin piece can go through that turbo and destroy it. The ring inside there for the VGT is what it hit. You couldn't find it because it was so small, but you can see like little dings in it. I got some pictures I'll post on here with this. But pay attention, because that'll cost you. Luckily, YTS was able to fix it. Put a new slide ring in it, and I got him back on the road. But if you ain't got a turbo guy like we do around you, then it might be a little difficult. We were gonna get a whole nother turbo, but it would have took so long to get it. It was just best to just take it to him, and he does a really good job. So the turbo's fine now. He replaced everything in it, and he's back on the road. So we're gonna see what we got to dig into today. Sammy's at the shop. He's getting a clutch job done. I may or may not be the one helping him. I don't usually do the clutch jobs or the rear structures, so we might have somebody else at the shop help him. But either way, everybody at our shop I have faith in. If I didn't have faith in them, they wouldn't be at our shop. So keep that in mind, that I'm not the only one that gets to work on your truck. They do too. But I'm telling you, if I didn't have faith in them, they would not be there. Everybody has started out where I started out, and everybody is learning what I learned. And that's the biggest thing, is me being able to teach them everything I know. Because I want them to be where I'm at. I want everybody in our shop to be able to build an engine. They all came together when I had COVID and built one, and I want that to be how it is every day. That's the most important thing to me, because you're only as strong as your weakest person. So if our weakest person don't know that much, then I don't know that much. So that's the most important thing, is every shop you go to, make sure that one person, and I've had to struggle with it because I know a lot, but because I was taught. I wasn't born to know everything, and I don't know everything yet. I'm still learning. There's things that I learn every single day, and I'm thankful for that, because I don't want to know everything. I want there to be something challenging that I can learn, because if you know everything, then there's no challenge. And like I said before, I love challenges. So as strong as your weakest person in the shop. So if you don't bring them up, then you can only do so much. And right now, I love the crew that we got. I wish we could add to it. There is some applications in, so we're going to do some interviews and talk to people and see how it goes and get them up. And we're a growing company, but we're growing with people that want to learn. It's not hard, guys. I showed a guy how to do his overhead yesterday, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know there was going to be a quiz." Well, if I don't quiz you and you don't know it, then I didn't teach you good enough. So pay attention. Be like a sponge. When somebody's telling you something about an engine or anything else, just be a sponge. Just get everything in and learn it. That's the most important thing, is if you're learning, that's good. And I still learn every day. You're never too old to learn. My dad still learns stuff. My dad's a very, very, very smart man, but he still learns stuff. And I'm glad he does, because he tells me everything. There's something new that he's learned, he's going to share with everybody in our shop. My dad doesn't keep nothing to himself. He tells us everything. So that's the most important thing about working for him. Is it hard working for family? Yes. I love my dad to death, but I'm just like him. So it's hard. But you know what? I wouldn't want to work for nobody else. And I probably wouldn't work for nobody else. My dad's the only person that I would be a mechanic for. Because my dad sacrificed a lot to have what we have now. And that in itself means a lot to me. Because he did it for his kids. He wants to have his kids to have a successful life. He wants to have everybody at our shop have a successful life. We started a little class, and my dad's not stingy at all. He takes care of every single one of us at the shop. Anybody has a question, call him. There's not one person that my dad would not bend over backwards for. And it didn't even got to be people at our shop. He's still going to help no matter what. Where you are, who you are, don't matter. He's always been like that. I remember growing up as kids and him helping everybody, and I'm just like, what are you doing? But I can tell you this, my dad's been very blessed, but it wasn't because of just him. It's because he likes to help. And I used to think it was a problem that I had, because I love to help everybody. And it took a lot to just be like, okay, this is my purpose. Everybody has a purpose in this world, and everybody should know what their purpose is. I'm sure that people go living life not knowing what their purpose is in life and question it. Like, why am I even here? You ask, and you'll see exactly why you're here. And there's more of me being a helping person, but that's a big important part, is that I need to help people. And I love doing it, so it's like a passion that I have for helping people. And that's a trait that I got from my father, because he loves to help people. So it's not a bad thing to help people, because if you were down on your luck, you have to ask yourself, would you want help? This day and time, it's kind of slowed down with that, where people don't even want to ask for help. I don't care if you're a man, woman, whatever. Do not be afraid to say, hey, I need help. Because I promise you, somebody else is in your same situation. And maybe if you come out, then they'll be like, okay, then it's okay for me to ask for help. That's what we're here for. Everybody is meant to help everybody. If we all come together, we would be strong. And that's the most important part. But we're going to see what we can get into today. And maybe I'll have some little clips of whatever we do today. But thank y'all y'all for watching. Like and subscribe. We're growing. That's the most important thing. And I gotta thank all y'all for that. Thank y'all for wanting to watch it. And maybe I can teach somebody some things. So yesterday we had an accident at the shop, and my dad's Tahoe got hit right there where the avalanche is, and it hit that car right there. So no more Tahoe for a while, but it's okay. Things happen. Everybody that was in the car that hit the Tahoe was okay. The Tahoe was parked, nobody was in it. So we're very blessed that nobody got hurt. It could have been a lot worse. But if you are coming to our shop, go the speed limit. People go flying around the curve right there by the shop. And the lady yesterday lost control. There was 3 people in the car. It was pretty nasty. I'll post some pictures of it. But just be careful while you're out there. Pay attention. Go the speed limit. Speeding is not worth taking somebody else's life or your own. So keep that in mind. And we're at the shop, so we're gonna see what we can get into today. Oh, Sammy's in. So we're about to strip this down all the way to the block. This is for a very special customer. We're gonna build it back. That's somebody that come out of his truck, spun I think number 2 and number 3 rod bearing. So we had this block right here, and we're gonna build it and put it in his truck. But let's get to tearing it down. Alright, so we're gonna check this fuel pump. Make sure it's good before I pull it off, because it's a lot easier with it bolted up. And check it this way than having it on the floor and trying to take it apart. So we're gonna take it apart here. Alright, so rollers are good. At the new style, we're going to be updating them anyways. So the fuel pump's good. Alright, so we got both sides tore down. This is why we're tearing it down, so we can clean all this out. We're gonna blast it. Get everything nice and clean. It looks like rust, but it's really just some kind of gummy stuff. It's probably got rust in it. But luckily, if you wipe it, it'll come right off. So we're gonna clean it real good. We're pulling the crank out of it, so gotta take this off, and the mounts and stuff, and then we'll flip it upside down and take the crank out. All right, store down. The mains are out. See, this is why we had to pull it out so we can clean it, have all this cleaned. But the mains are off. We're gonna pull the crank out. All right, crankshaft's out. Box tore down all the way. Tomorrow we'll be starting to clean it and send this off to get it polished and cleaned up. And we'll get this block clean. Whatever y'all do, do not take all the mains out like I did with it the other way, because the crank will fall on top of you. So if you're doing it like that, do a few of them at a time. Well, luckily we had Sammy over here to help us.
Get my hands dirty.
Oh yeah, look, his hands are dirty. He's over here helping me, and they're on his truck. Well, I mean, he did get underneath his truck though, didn't he?
No.
Oh, he even got underneath his truck.
Oh
my goodness. All right. Well, this is going to end of this today. Tomorrow we'll go back the other with it.